Captain Lyra Vex stood at the crystal viewing window of the Kelanos Defense Center, watching her world die. The beautiful blue and silver towers of the capital city crumbled under the relentless attack of the Void Reapers. Each massive machine moved like a giant metal spider, its long legs crushing buildings, while its mouth consumed everything in sight. Lyra's crystalline skin flickered with pale colors of fear and sadness. Her people, the Zephyrians, had never known war. Their gentle world had soft winds, warm rain, and no dangerous animals. For thousands of years they lived in peace, creating art and music while their technology grew beyond what most species could imagine, but peace had made them weak. "Captain, the Eastern Shield generators are failing," reported Officer Kim Dara from her station. Her voice trembled through the crystal communication network that connected all Zephyrian minds. "The Reapers have broken through Sector 7. Lyra closed her large, diamond-like eyes. The Void Reapers had appeared 3 days ago without warning. Ancient machines from a long-dead civilization, they moved from world to world, eating everything organic and turning it into fuel for more machines. Most species in the galaxy knew about them. But the Reapers had been quiet for so long that everyone thought they were gone forever. "How many more cities?" Lyra asked, though she feared the answer. 12 major population centers are under attack," Kim replied. "Our defensive systems are designed to stop natural disasters and space debris, not weapons of war. The Reapers adapt to everything we throw at them." Through the window, Lyra watched another tower fall. Each building contained thousands of her. People, artists, singers, builders, and dreamers who had never hurt anyone in their lives. The Zephyrians could create technology that seemed like magic to other species, but they could not create weapons. Violence was not in their nature. A younger officer named Zara Lux approached Lyra's command platform. "Captain, we have evacuation. Ships ready for the remaining population. If we leave now, perhaps some of us can escape to the outer colonies." Lyra's skin flashed red with determination. "No, if we run, the Reapers will follow. They always follow until nothing organic remains. Our colonies are not defended any better than Kelanos." She turned to face her command crew. 15 Zephyrians worked at stations made of living crystal that responded to touch and thought. Their technology was beautiful, but it was not built for war. "Send word to the Galactic Council," Lyra ordered. "Tell them the Void Reapers have returned and request immediate military assistance." Kim's skin turned gray with doubt. "Captain, you know what they will say? The council meetings take months to organize. By then, we will all be gone." Lyra finished. She knew the truth. The Galactic Council moved slowly because most member species were peaceful like the Zephyrians. They solved problems through discussion and agreement, not violence. Outside, another Reaper approached the defense center. This one was smaller than the Citiators, only as large as a building instead of a mountain. Its scanner beams swept across the crystal walls, and Lyra knew it was looking for the largest concentration of organic life. "All defensive systems target that machine," she commanded. The defense center's weapons activated. Beams of pure energy struck the Reaper, causing its metal shell to glow white-hot. For a moment, Lyra felt hope. Then the machine's surface shifted and changed, adapting to the attack. Within seconds, the energy beams did nothing more than warm its hull. "It learned," whispered Zara. "How do we fight something that learns from every attack?" Lyra had no answer. Her people were scientists and artists, not soldiers. They understood how to build and create, but not how to destroy. The concept of killing was so foreign to them that their language had no word for murder. The Reaper outside began cutting through the defense center's outer wall with beams of plasma. The crystal structure held for now, but everyone could see cracks spreading like spiderwebs. Captain called Kim from her station. "I have an idea, but you will not like it." "Speak." "The Galactic Distress Network. We could send an emergency broadcast to every species in known space. Someone might be close enough to help before the council can act." Lyra's skin flickered between hope and fear. The Galactic Distress Network was used only in the most desperate situations. Any species could monitor it, including ones that were dangerous or unknown. The network reaches beyond council space, Zara pointed out, into the quarantine zones. The quarantine zones contain species too dangerous for normal contact, Lyra said slowly. They were marked as hazardous for good reasons. Another explosion shook the building as the Reaper's cutting beam broke through the first layer of crystal wall. In the distance, more machines were moving toward the defense center. Soon, this would be the last pocket of Zephyrian civilization on the planet. Kim looked at her captain with large, desperate eyes. What if dangerous is what we need right now? Lyra stared out at her dying world. The Reapers moved methodically through the city, consuming buildings, vehicles, and any Zephyrian they found. Their metal bodies showed no emotion, no hesitation, no mercy. They were death-given form, and nothing in the peaceful galaxy seemed able to stop them. Activate the distress network, she ordered. Kim's fingers moved across her crystal console, opening channels that had not been used in decades. The transmission would reach every corner of known space and beyond into regions where mysterious species lived in isolation. What should the message say? Asked Zara. Lyra thought carefully. This might be the last communication her people ever sent. To any species receiving this transmission, we are the Zephyrians of Kelanos. Our world is under attack by machines called Void Reapers. They consume all organic life and cannot be stopped by conventional weapons. Our people are peaceful and have no knowledge of warfare. We face complete extinction within hours. Our coordinates are included in this message. If anyone can help us, please. We're desperate. The message began broadcasting on all frequencies carried by relay stations throughout the galaxy. It would reach the peaceful council worlds first, but they were too far away to help in time. Then it would travel further into regions marked on star charts with warnings and restrictions. Captain, the message has been sent, Kim reported. It will reach the edge of known space in 6 hours. 6 hours? Lyra wondered if they had that long. The Reaper outside had nearly cut through the wall, and she could see more machines approaching from every direction. All personnel to the emergency shelters, she commanded. Seal the deep levels and prepare for siege conditions. As her people filed toward the underground chambers, Lyra remained at the window. She watched the Reapers systematically destroy everything her civilization had. Built over thousands of years, beautiful towers fell, artistic monuments crumbled, and the soft music that always filled Zephyrian cities grew silent. Somewhere in the vast darkness of space, her desperate message traveled toward unknown worlds. She had no idea what might receive it, or if anything would even care about the fate of one small peaceful species. But as the plasma cutter broke through the crystal wall, and the Reaper began to enter her command center, Lyra held onto one small hope. Perhaps someone out there understood how to fight monsters. Perhaps someone would come. The transmission continued its journey, carrying the plea of a dying world toward the edges of space where darker, more dangerous species waited in their self-imposed exile. Species that had been quarantined, not because they were evil, because they were too dangerous for a peaceful galaxy to understand. Species that had learned to survive. Lieutenant Commander Jake Morrison was halfway through his third cup of coffee when the alien distress signal changed his life forever. He sat at his monitoring station on Earth's orbital platform New Geneva, watching streams of data flow across multiple screens. Most days his job was boring, tracking space debris, monitoring solar radiation, listening to the endless chatter of alien civilizations who pretended humans did not exist. But this signal was different. Jake's computer automatically translated the message from an unknown alien frequency. As he read the words, his coffee cup froze halfway to his lips. A peaceful species was facing extinction from machines called Void Reapers. They were asking anyone in the galaxy for help. Holy hell, Jake muttered, setting down his cup. His hands moved quickly across the control panel, recording every detail of the transmission. The coordinates showed a planet called Kelanos, approximately 200 light-years from Earth. The message contained detailed scans of the attacking machines and desperate pleas for military assistance. Jake had been monitoring alien communications for 8 years. He knew that most species in the galaxy considered humans too dangerous for contact. Earth was listed in every database as a quarantine world, a place where violent Deathworlders lived, or too savage for civilized society. But this time, maybe being savage was exactly what someone needed. Jake activated his emergency communication link. Admiral Hayes, this is Lieutenant Commander Morrison on New Geneva Station. I need to speak with you immediately. We have received an alien distress signal requesting military assistance. Admiral Patricia Hayes answered within minutes. Her stern face appeared on Jake's screen, gray hair pulled back in a tight military style that had not changed in 20 years. What kind of distress signal, Commander? Species called Zephyrians on planet Colonos. They are under attack by machines called Void Reapers and facing complete extinction. Admiral, they specifically requested military help because their weapons cannot stop these machines. Hayes leaned forward in her chair. Send me everything you have. I am calling an emergency meeting in 1 hour. Jake transmitted all the data to Earth Defense Command while his mind raced. For decades, humanity had been preparing for the day they might need to defend Earth from hostile aliens. They had built weapons, trained soldiers, and developed strategies for fighting in space, but they had never considered using those preparations to help aliens. 1 hour later, Jake found himself in a secure briefing room deep inside the orbital station. Admiral Hayes sat at the head of a conference table, surrounded by holographic displays showing other military leaders from around Earth. General Kevin Rodriguez appeared from the Mars Defense Station, his weathered face serious as always. Doctor. Lisa Chen joined from the Xenobiology Institute on Luna, her scientific equipment visible in the background. But the person who caught Jake's attention most was Captain Alex Turner, peering from the experimental warship U.S. Retribution. Turner was a legend in the Earth Defense Force, the youngest person ever to command a capital ship. With a reputation for unconventional tactics and absolute loyalty to his crew, ladies and gentlemen, Admiral Hayes began, we have a situation that has never occurred in human history. An alien species has directly requested our military assistance. Dr. Chen spoke first, her voice excited despite the serious situation. I have been analyzing the Zephyrian data. These beings are fascinating. They evolved on a low-gravity world with no natural predators or extreme weather. Their entire civilization is built around art, music, and peaceful technology. What about these Void Reapers? Asked General Rodriguez. Dr. Chen's expression grew darker. Ancient war machines, possibly automated. They consume organic matter and convert it into materials for building more machines. The Zephyrians describe them as unstoppable, but looking at their specifications, she paused, bringing up technical diagrams on the shared display. These machines are designed to fight peaceful civilizations. Their armor is strong but not military grade. Their weapons are devastating against unprotected targets, but nothing compared to what we face in our own war games. Most importantly, they seem to have no experience fighting coordinated military tactics. Captain Turner leaned back in his chair, studying the enemy data with the eye of a professional soldier. Dr. Chen is right. These Reapers are basically giant mining equipment with weapons attached. They have never faced real military resistance. The question, said Admiral Hayes, is whether we should provide that resistance. The room fell silent. Everyone understood the implications. For over 50 years, humanity had been isolated from galactic civilization. They were considered too dangerous, too violent, too unpredictable for peaceful species to trust. Making contact now would change everything. General Rodriguez spoke slowly. What do we know about galactic law regarding quarantined species? Dr. Chen pulled up another display. According to intercepted communications, quarantined species are forbidden from interfering in galactic affairs, but there is no law preventing others from requesting help from quarantined species. So technically, we would not be breaking quarantine, Admiral Hayes said. We would be responding to a direct request for assistance. Jake cleared his throat. Admiral, if I may? The Zephyrian message was broadcast on the Galactic Distress Network. That means it went to every species in known space, including us. They may not know who we are, but they asked everyone for help. Captain Turner stood up and walked to the display showing the Reaper specifications. I have been fighting simulated battles against alien technology for 15 years. These machines are exactly the kind of threat we were designed to handle." He turned to face the group. "My ship, the Retribution, was built to fight unknown alien threats in space. My crew has trained for years to handle situations exactly like this. We have weapons that can punch through that armor, tactics that can outmaneuver those machines, and the experience to coordinate complex military operations." "What are you suggesting, Captain?" asked Admiral Hayes. "I am suggesting that maybe it is time the galaxy learned what Deathworlders are really capable of," Turner replied. "Not as conquerors or threats, but as protectors." Dr. Chen brought up images of the Zephyrian people, tall, graceful beings, with crystalline skin that reflected light in beautiful patterns. These people have never known violence. Their language does not even have words for concepts like murder or war. They create art that spans entire cities, and music that can be heard from orbit. Now they are about to be wiped out by machines. "Because they never learned to fight," General Rodriguez added grimly. Admiral Hayes stood up, her decision made. "Captain Turner, how quickly can you prepare for a rescue mission?" "The Retribution is fully operational and supplied. If you authorize additional ships, I can have a battle group ready to depart within 12 hours. "Additional ships?" Turner's eyes gleamed. "Admiral, the Zephyrian data shows hundreds of these Reapers attacking multiple cities. This is not a job for one ship. I recommend a full battle group, 3 capital ships with support vessels and marine contingents." Hayes nodded. "Approved. Captain Turner, you will command the mission. Take the Retribution, the Defiance, and the Vengeance. Full military authorization for whatever action you deem necessary." "And if the galactic community objects to our interference?" asked General Rodriguez. Admiral Hayes smiled grimly. "Then they can file a complaint after we save an entire civilization from extinction." Jake watched as the meeting broke up and the military leaders began making preparations. In less than 12 hours, humanity would make first contact with an alien species, not as the violent savages the galaxy expected, but as rescuers coming to help those who could not help themselves. Captain Turner remained in the briefing room. After the others had left, stared at the images of Kalanos, studying the beautiful crystal cities being destroyed by the Reapers. "Commander Morrison," he said without turning around, "you will be joining us as communications officer. This mission will need someone who understands alien languages and protocols." Jake felt his heart racing. "Sir, I have never served on a combat vessel." Turner finally turned to look at him. "Neither has any human commander. We are all about to make history." As Jake left the briefing room to prepare for humanity's first rescue mission, he wondered what the peaceful galaxy would think when Earth's warships arrived to save people. They had never met from threats they had never faced. Soon, the universe would learn what humans could do when they chose to protect instead of conquer. The UES Retribution cut through hyperspace like a knife through darkness, leading humanity's first rescue mission into the unknown. Captain Alex Turner stood on the bridge, watching the swirling colors of faster-than-light travel through the main view screen. Behind him, his crew worked at their stations with the quiet efficiency of professionals who had trained for this moment their entire careers. "Captain, we will reach Kalanos in 30 minutes, reported Lieutenant Sophie Williams, from the tactical station. She was 28 years old, born and raised in the tornado zones of Oklahoma, where she learned to track multiple fast-moving targets while staying calm under pressure. Those skills made her one of Earth's best tactical officers. "Thank you." Lieutenant Commander Price status report on our escort ships. Commander Nathan Price looked up from the engineering station. He had grown up in the underwater cities of the Pacific Ocean, where a single mistake could mean death for thousands of people. That background taught him to maintain complex systems. Under extreme stress, the Defiance and Vengeance are holding formation perfectly, Captain. All weapon systems are operating at peak efficiency. The new plasma cannons have been tested and calibrated for alien armor specifications. Turner nodded. Each of the 3 Earth warships carried the most advanced weapons humanity had ever built. They were designed from decades of theoretical alien encounters, powered by fusion reactors that could run for years without refueling. But most importantly, They were crewed by humans who understood that sometimes violence was the only way to protect innocent life. "Captain Turner," came a voice from the communication station. Jake Morrison sat surrounded by translation equipment and alien language databases. "I am receiving multiple distress signals from Kilinos. The Void Reapers are attacking 7 different cities simultaneously." Turner walked over to study the tactical display that showed the planet's surface. Red markers indicated Reaper positions, while blue dots showed remaining Zephyrian population centers. The situation looked desperate. "How many Reapers are we looking at?" Long-range sensors detect 347 individual machines, ranging from small scout units to massive city destroyers. They are operating in coordinated groups, which suggests some kind of central intelligence. At the medical station, Dr. Elena Martinez prepared her equipment for treating both human and alien casualties. She had learned her skills in disaster zones across 3 continents, treating everything from earthquake victims to radiation poisoning. Her mobile medical units were designed to work in combat conditions where traditional hospitals would be useless. "Captain, I have studied the Zephyrian biological data," Dr. Martinez reported. "Their crystalline structure makes them incredibly fragile compared to humans. What would be a minor injury to us could be fatal to them. I am preparing emergency medical protocols for both species." Turner appreciated his crew's professionalism. Each person had been selected not just for their skills, but for their ability to adapt to unknown situations. They represented the best of humanity, people who had survived Earth's harsh conditions and emerged stronger. "Captain, we are receiving a transmission from Captain Stone on the Defiance," announced Jake. The image of Captain Rachel Stone appeared on the communication screen. She commanded the second ship in their small fleet, a woman who had earned her position by leading successful missions in the asteroid belt where pirates and raiders threatened civilian miners. "Alex, my sensors are picking up massive energy readings from the planet's surface. These Reapers are not just attacking, they are harvesting. Every building they destroy gets processed into raw materials." "Understood, Rachel." "Webb on the Vengeance, standing by for your orders. His marine contingent is ready for boarding operations if needed." Turner studied the tactical situation one more time. The Reapers were spread across the planet, attacking multiple targets simultaneously. Traditional military doctrine would suggest concentrating forces and attacking one group at a time. Turner knew they did not have time for traditional approaches. "All ships, prepare to exit hyperspace in combat formation. We are going to hit them fast and hard before they realize what is happening." The swirling colors of hyperspace began to fade as the 3 Earth ships returned to normal space at the edge of the Kilinos system. Immediately, their sensors lit up with contact readings. "Captain, I count 362 Reaper units," Sophie reported. "They have increased in number since we left Earth. Some of them must be newly constructed from harvested materials." Through the view screen, Turner could see Kilinos hanging in space like a wounded jewel. The planet's surface showed fires and destruction where beautiful cities had once stood. Massive mechanical shapes moved across continents, leaving trails of devastation behind them. "Jake, open a channel to any surviving Zephyrians. Let them know help has arrived."
"A channel open, Captain."
Turner straightened his uniform and faced the communication screen. He's about to make humanity's first official contact with an alien species, and he wanted to do it right. "Attention Kilinos survivors, this is Captain Alex Turner of the Earth Defense Force. We received your distress signal and have come to provide military assistance. Please remain in your shelters while we engage the hostile machines. We will not let your people die." The response came within seconds. The image of a crystalline being appeared on screen, her skin flickering with colors that Jake's computer identified as expressions of hope and disbelief. "Earth vessel, this is Captain Lyra Vex of the Kilinos Defense Center. Are you truly here to help us? Our records show your species is quarantined and dangerous." Turner smiled grimly. "Captain Vex, we are dangerous, but only to our enemies. Today the Void Reapers are our enemies." Captain Sophie interrupted. "The Reapers have detected our ships. Multiple units are moving to intercept us." On the tactical display, red dots began converging on their position. 12 of the smaller Reaper units, each the size of a city block, approached at high speed. Their weapons were already charging. For attack All ships, battle stations. Engage the enemy, Turner commanded. The bridge lights dimmed as the Retribution's weapon systems came online. The plasma cannons, railguns, and missile tubes that had been theoretical designs just months ago were about to be tested in real combat against alien technology. Targeting multiple contacts, Sophie reported, her fingers dancing across the tactical controls. Firing solution locked. Fire. The Retribution's main guns erupted in streams of superheated plasma that crossed space in seconds. The energy beams struck the leading Reaper with the force of a small star, punching through its armor like paper. The machine exploded in a brilliant flash that lit up the darkness. Direct hit, target destroyed, Sophie called out. Around them, the Defiance and Vengeance opened fire as well. Streams of Earth's weaponry reached across space to strike the approaching Reapers. Each hit was devastating. The machines had never faced military-grade weapons designed to penetrate starship armor. Captain, the Reapers are adapting, Jake reported. The remaining units are changing their approach patterns and modifying their defensive systems. Turner watched as the alien machines began to move differently, their tactics shifting to account for the new threat.
But he was not worried.
The Reapers had been built to fight peaceful civilizations that had no understanding of warfare. Humans, on the other hand, had been fighting wars for their entire existence. Sophie, implement attack pattern Delta. Nathan, give me maximum power to forward weapons. Jake, coordinate with the other ships for synchronized strikes. Yes, sir. As the 3 Earth warships moved into formation and began their systematic assault on the Void Reapers, Turner felt a mixture of pride and determination. His species had been called monsters by the peaceful galaxy. But today they would prove that monsters could also be heroes. The real battle was just beginning. Major Ryan Brooks felt the familiar weight of combat armor as he checked his weapon one final time. Around him, 30 Earth Marines prepared for the most unusual mission in human history, boarding an alien war machine while it was still operational. The cargo bay of the UES Retribution hummed with activity as soldiers who had trained for every possible combat scenario faced something completely new. Listen up, Marines. His voice carried the authority of someone who had survived the Amazon conflict, where human soldiers fought in conditions that would kill most other species. And these Reapers are big, they are tough, and they learn from every attack. But they have never faced anything like us. Sergeant Lisa Park nodded as she activated her magnetic boots. She had grown up in the mining colonies of the asteroid belt, where one mistake in zero gravity meant floating into space forever. Those skills made her perfect for boarding operations. Major intelligence reports that Reaper hull thickness varies from 2 to 4 meters, she said. Our shaped charges should penetrate, but we need to hit the right spots. That's why we have these, Brooks replied, holding up a small device that looked like a metal spider. Commander Price's engineering team designed these scanner bots specifically for this mission. They will map the internal structure and find weak points. Through the cargo bay windows, Brooks could see the battle raging outside. The 3 Earths. Ships moved through space like predators hunting prey, their weapons reaching out to destroy Reaper after Reaper. But the largest machines were too big and too well armored for ship weapons alone. They needed to be destroyed from the inside. Major Brooks, this is Captain Turner, came the voice over the communication system. We have identified your target. Reaper designation Alpha 7 is currently attacking the city of Crystal Falls. It is one of the big ones, over a kilometer long. Brooks felt his heart rate increase. Kilometer-long war machine filled with unknown technology and defensive systems. Most military forces would call it suicide to attack such a target with just 30 soldiers, but Earth Marines were not most military forces. Understood, Captain. We are ready for deployment. The cargo bay doors opened, revealing the void of space. Brooks led his team toward the waiting assault shuttle, a small, fast ship designed to get soldiers close to enemy targets without being detected. As they approached Reaper Alpha 7, Brooks could see the massive machine clearly for the first time. It looked like a giant metal centipede, with dozens of legs that grabbed and crushed everything in their path. Along its back, harvesting equipment processed the remains of Zephyrian buildings into raw materials. Weapon ports glowed with energy. As the machine's defensive systems tracked the approaching shuttle, "Take us in fast and low, Brooks," ordered the pilot. "Use the debris from destroyed buildings as cover." The shuttle dove toward the planet's surface. Weaving between chunks of crystal and metal that had once been beautiful architecture, the Reapers. Weapons fired, but the beams passed harmlessly overhead as the small ship hugged the ground. "Magnetic contact in 10 seconds," announced the pilot. Brooks activated his armor's magnetic systems and felt the familiar pull as the shuttle's hull became his anchor point. Around him, his Marines did the same, creating a human chain that would keep them connected during the boarding operation. The shuttle struck the Reaper's hull with a metallic clang that echoed through both ships. Immediately, Brooks felt his boots lock onto the alien metal as his magnetic systems engaged. "Move. Move," he shouted. The Marines poured out of the shuttle and spread across the Reaper's hull. The machine continued its attack on the city below, apparently unaware that humans were crawling across its back like insects on a sleeping giant. Sergeant Park deployed her scanner bots, watching as they scurried across the hull and disappeared into small openings between armor plates. Within minutes, her equipment showed a detailed map of the Reaper's internal structure. "Major, I have identified 3 critical targets," she reported. "Power distribution node, central processing unit, and main weapon control. If we can hit all 3 simultaneously, this thing will shut down permanently." Brooks studied the tactical display on his armor's heads-up system. The targets were spread across the machine's length, requiring his team to split into 3 groups and coordinate their attacks perfectly. "Team Alpha, you are with me on the power node. Team Bravo, take the processing unit. Team Charlie, hit the weapon control. Plant your charges and get out fast." The Marines moved across the Reaper's hull. With the efficiency of soldiers who had trained together for years, their magnetic boots allowed them to walk on any surface, while their armor protected them from the vacuum of space and the machine's defensive systems. Brooks lead. Team Alpha toward the rear of the machine, where Sergeant Park's scans showed the main power distribution center. As they moved, he could see the devastation below. The Reaper was systematically destroying everything in its path, turning a once beautiful city into raw materials for building more machines. "Major, this is Team Bravo," came Corporal Jim Carter's voice over the radio. "We have reached the processing unit, beginning breach procedures. Team Charlie in position," reported Sergeant Amy Cole. "Ready to plant charges on your command." Brooks reached his target and began setting up the shaped charges that would penetrate the Reaper's armor. Each explosive was designed specifically for this mission, with enough power to punch through alien metal but precise enough to avoid damaging the Marines setting them. "Charges set," he reported. "All teams prepare for synchronized detonation in 30 seconds. As Brooks waited for the countdown, he looked up at the battle raging in space above. The Earth ships were winning, but slowly. Each Reaper they destroyed was replaced by 2 more that emerged from hidden factories on the planet's surface. The only way to stop them permanently was to shut down the big city destroyers that were harvesting materials for new construction. 10 seconds, he announced. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Detonate. The charges exploded simultaneously, sending shockwaves through the Reaper's hull. Brooks felt the vibrations through his boots as the alien machine shuddered and began to slow its attack. "Direct hits on all targets," reported Sergeant Park. "The machine's systems are shutting down." Below them, the massive Reaper came to a complete stop. Its weapons went silent, its harvesting equipment ceased moving, and its legs locked in place. For the first time in days, the city of Crystal Falls was safe from destruction. "Outstanding work, Marines," came Captain Turner's voice from orbit. "Reaper Alpha 7 is confirmed destroyed. Return to the Retribution for immediate redeployment." As the assault shuttle returned to collect his team, Brooks looked down at the city they had just saved. Thousands of Zephyrian civilians were emerging from underground shelters, their crystalline forms reflecting the light as they stared up at the motionless machine that had been terrorizing them. "Major," said Sergeant Park, "look at the tactical display." Brooks checked his readout and smiled. Across the planet, similar boarding operations were taking place. Earth Marines were crawling over a dozen large Reapers, planting charges and shutting down the machines from within. Meanwhile, the three warships continued their space battle, destroying smaller Reapers with precision fire. "Sir, we are receiving a communication from Captain Vex," announced the shuttle pilot. The image of the Zephyrian captain appeared on the shuttle's communication screen. Her crystalline skin showed colors that Brooks's translator identified as amazement and gratitude. "Earth soldiers, we are watching your battle from our shelters. How are you doing this? The Reapers have never been stopped before." Brooks removed his helmet, showing his scarred face and determined eyes. "Captain Vex, we come from a world where everything tries to kill us. We learn to fight back, or we learn to die. Hey, we chose to fight." As the shuttle returned to the Retribution, Brooks knew the battle was far from over. But for the first time since the crisis began, he believed they could win. The Void Reapers had never faced an enemy like humanity, a species that treated impossible odds as just another day at work. The last Void Reaper fell from the sky like a dying star, its massive form crashing into the crystal plains outside the capital city of Kilanos. Captain Alex Turner watched from the bridge of the UES Retribution as the machine's internal fires burned out, leaving only twisted metal where moments before there had been an unstoppable instrument of destruction. "Captain, all Reaper signatures have gone dark," reported Lieutenant Sophie Williams from the tactical station. "Long-range sensors confirm 0 hostile contacts remaining on the planet's surface." Turner allowed himself a moment of satisfaction. In 18 hours, 3 human warships and their crews had accomplished what the peaceful galaxy had considered impossible. They had stopped the Void Reapers completely. "Casualties?" he asked. Commander Nathan Price looked up from his damage control station. "Minimal, sir. 7 Marines with minor injuries. No fatalities. The Defiance reports similar numbers. The Vengeance took some hull damage, but nothing critical. And the Zephyrians." Jake Morrison turned from his communication station, his face showing relief and amazement. "Captain Vex reports that over 90% of their population survived in the underground shelters. The city damage is extensive, but their people are alive." On the main view screen, Turner could see Zephyrian civilians emerging from their hiding places. Their crystalline forms caught the sunlight, creating rainbow patterns across the landscape as thousands of beings stepped into daylight for the first time in days. Many of them looked up toward the human ships with expressions that needed no translation. "Sir, we are receiving a transmission from the planet's surface," Jake announced. The image of Captain Lyra Vex appeared on screen. Her crystalline skin displayed colors that the translation computer identified as deep gratitude, wonder, and something that might have been hope. Behind her, Turner could see other Zephyrians working to clear debris from their damaged but still beautiful city. "Captain Turner, I do not have words in any language to properly thank you and your people. You traveled across the galaxy to save beings you had never met, fought battles you had no obligation to fight, and asked for nothing in return. Captain Vex, protecting innocent life is always our obligation. Your people deserved to live in peace, and we made sure they could. But why?" Lyra asked, her voice filled with genuine confusion. "Our databases list your species as dangerous and quarantined. Why would dangerous beings risk themselves to help others?" Turner paused, considering how to explain something that seemed obvious to every human, but was apparently revolutionary to the rest of the galaxy. "Captain, Earth's taught us that life is precious because it can be lost so easily. We learn to protect what matters because we know what happens when no one stands guard against the darkness. Being dangerous does not mean being evil. Sometimes it means being the only thing standing between good people and the things that want to hurt them." Dr. Alina Martinez appeared beside Turner on the bridge. She had been working for hours to establish medical cooperation with Zephyrian healers. sharing human medical techniques that could help treat the injuries caused by the Reaper attacks. Captain Vex, our medical teams are ready to assist your healers with treating the wounded. Human medicine has experience with trauma care that might be useful for your people. Lyra's skin flickered with amazement. You offer medical aid as well? Even after the great battle you fought for us? The battle is over, Dr. Martinez replied simply. Now comes the healing. Major Ryan Brooks joined the group on the bridge, still wearing his combat armor but with his helmet removed. His scarred face and tired eyes told the story of a soldier who had just completed the most important mission of his career. Captain, my Marines are requesting permission to assist with debris clearing operations. They want to help rebuild what the Reapers destroyed. Turner nodded his approval. It was typical of Earth soldiers to want to help with reconstruction after victory. Violence was a tool they used when necessary, but building and protecting were the real goals. Permission granted, Major. Coordinate with Captain Vex's people. As the conversation continued, Jake's communication equipment began receiving new signals. His face grew serious as he analyzed the incoming data. Captain, I am detecting distress signals from 17 other star systems. Pattern matches. What we saw here, peaceful civilizations under attack by automated war machines. Turner felt his heart sink. The Void Reapers on Kalanos had not been an isolated threat. Across the galaxy, other versions of the same ancient machines were awakening, attacking species that had no way to defend themselves. How far are these other signals? He asked. The closest is 40 light-years away. The furthest is over 300, Captain. There are millions of beings out there facing the same extinction that almost claimed the Zephyrians. Turner looked around his bridge at the crew that had just proven humans could be heroes instead of monsters. They were tired, their ships were damaged, and they were impossibly far from Earth. But he already knew what his decision would be. Jake opened a channel to Admiral Hayes on Earth. The image of Admiral Patricia Hayes appeared on screen, her stern face showing pride and concern in equal measure. Behind her, Turner could see the Earth Defense Command Center buzzing with activity. Captain Turner, congratulations on a successful mission. The entire Defense Force is proud of what you accomplished. You, Admiral. But we have a new situation. Multiple star systems are sending similar distress signals. The Void Reapers are not just here, they are everywhere. Hayes leaned forward in her chair. How many systems? 17 confirmed, possibly more. Admiral, we could be looking at a galaxy-wide crisis. Peaceful civilizations are being wiped out by machines they cannot fight. The communication link was silent for a long moment as Hayes considered the implications. Finally, she spoke with the voice of someone making a decision that would change history. Captain Turner, you are hereby authorized to respond to any distress signal requiring military assistance. Additional ships are being prepared for deployment. Earth will not stand by while innocent beings face extinction. Turner felt a surge of pride in his species and his leadership. Understood, Admiral? What about the quarantine protocols? The galaxy wanted to keep us isolated because they thought we were too dangerous for peace, Hayes replied. Maybe it is time they learned that dangerous can also mean protective. Go save some lives, Captain. As the communication ended, Turner turned to address his crew. These people had signed up to defend Earth, not to become the galaxy's guardian. Angels. But he knew them well enough to predict their response. You heard the Admiral? We have 17 more worlds that need our help. The Defiance and Vengeance are with us, but this could take months or even years. Anyone who wants to transfer back to Earth can do so now. Lieutenant Williams spoke first. Sir, request permission to remain at Tactical Station. Granted. By one, every member of his crew requested to remain. They understood that they were no longer just Earth Defense Force officers. They had become something new, humanity's first ambassadors to a galaxy that was finally learning what humans were really capable of. Captain Lyra Vex's image reappeared on screen, her crystalline features displaying colors of determination and hope. Captain Turner, we have been monitoring your communications. If more worlds face what we faced, then you will need supplies, fuel, and safe ports for repairs. Kalanos offers itself as a base for your operations. Turner smiled. Thank you, Captain. We accept. As the 3 human warships prepared to depart, For their next rescue mission, Turner looked out at the planet they had saved. Zephyrian children played in the Crystal Gardens while their parents rebuilt their cities under the protection of human defense platforms left behind to guard against future threats. Somewhere in the darkness of space, more distress signals waited. More peaceful civilizations faced extinction from threats they could not understand or fight. But now they had protectors, beings from a harsh world who had learned that strength was meaningless unless it was used to defend those who could not defend themselves. The galaxy was about to learn what it meant to have Deathworlders on their side.